Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Relentless Positivity Podcast. This is Joe Martin, your host, and I'm going to talk about back to school a little bit. Since the kids are about to go back to school, I want to share how I started college, kind of a unique way it went down. So when I started college, right before that, I was working at Mr. Gatti's Pizza. You remember that amazing place? They had the pizza buffet, and I was working in the back. I was making pizza, getting there at about 7 o'clock, which I thought was the earliest thing in the world. 7 a.m.? My gosh. Now I get up at 4 o'clock. Every day just about, and it's still awful, I'm not gonna lie, but it gets things going. So anyway, I thought 7 o'clock was so early. I get up there and I was making pizzas for the buffet until it was time for pizzas, so people start coming in and eating the pizzas, and then I would wash the dishes for them. So I was killing life at the time. So part of the thing was I get there, you make the dough and you lay it out and you press on it and flatten it out, and then it was killing me. It was like, pizza should not be painful. So I was pressing down and my wrist was just killing me. I didn't know what was going on. So turns out I had broken my wrist a long time ago playing football. It had been broken so long, the bone in there died, and I had to have surgery on my wrist. So that wasn't bad enough. I was going to be in a cast for 6 months. 6 months, man. So they had to take a bone out of my hip to replace the one in my wrist, and then I was going to be in a cast from my hand all the way up above my bicep at the top. 90-degree bend, thumb in the worst part, the thumb was included in the cast. Thumbs up all day. You remember Sweet Chuck from Police Academy? That's how I walked around. 6 months, thumbs up. So also, the thumb, you never realize how important that thumb is until it's taken away. That's what separates us from the monkeys, that opposable thumb. So I had to relearn to do a lot of things. Putting in contacts was the worst because it was my dominant arm, my right arm. So I had to do one hand, my off weak hand, a crazy hand over here, putting my contacts in. It took me an hour in the beginning to put contacts in. That's usually like a 20-second job. I had to, getting dressed, taking showers, do just everyday life, had to relearn all these different things. And then I had to start college. So I guess you don't have to, but I started college at the Harvard of the South, Calhoun Community College. Yeah, that was at the mall. You know it's serious when your school is at the mall. Not only is that the mall, it was a hallway in the mall. So Toys R Us is over here. You walk in, you walk down this hallway. On the left, you got literature. On right, I had Western civilization. So I walk in there. It's my maybe first or second college class. Walk in there. There's probably 50 people in there. We all settle down. Class starts. This guy's looking around. Professor was looking around. He spots me in my giant cast and really loudly asks me, "Hey, am I going to have to give you an oral?" Oh, my I wanted to crawl inside my big cast and fall onto my desk. He meant on the test, you can't write. So am I going to have to give you an oral test? But the way he put it, everybody looked at me, I turned red. And the worst part, my friend Mike was there. And he still to this day never lets me forget that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that was my getting started. So I don't have the thumb. Literature is really good. I turned in some great papers. My handwriting was not great before, but the chicken scratch I was producing in college was not great either. So, and then my job at Mr. Gatti's, you can't wash dishes or make pizzas with a giant cast on. So you know where they cast me to? Gatti Land. You ever been to Gatti Land? You may have had fun. It's one of those things where you come in there, got video games and those tickets. You can earn tickets and get terrible toys and stuff and candy. This was pre-machine that you feed it in. I had to count those individually. And then, hey, here's your thing you put on the end of a pencil or a piece of a Starburst or something like that. Oh, that's the worst. It was the worst, especially because guys I know would come in there just to mess with me. Guys I play football would come in there. I'd say, "Hey, I will kill you." So I was working in Gatti Land, but I still had a job with benefits. You know what the benefit is? I didn't have a car, so you get all the pizza from the buffet. They're just going to throw it out at the end of the night. They're not allowed to give it to them, but you can bring it home as an employee. So, hey, you give me a ride home, got you a box full of pizza right here. Especially, and me, I was at the time an overweight American. I enjoyed pizza. Still to this day, love pizza. So all the pizza you can eat, get you your rides. So Gatti Land could be overcome. Then I would vacuum and used to watch the MTV Top 10, those same songs over and over. If you remember that, they're locking up, they play the same thing, same 10 songs. So I was adapting, that type of stuff. So college starts rough. Things are not going well, but I still have my job. Things are still going well. So, you got that working in Gatti Land. And then that's where this phrase, busier then a one-armed man in Gatti land came about. So why am I telling you all this? That's probably what you're asking yourself. So I want to tell you about how you recover from injuries. So I looked it up. So if you look at some studies online, there's kind of 6 ways that they compared fast healers to slow healers, kind of some trends and things that they do. So I'll go over those with you right now. So there's a lot of people, maybe you're sick, maybe you're injured, these things are going through, things you can do to help speed it up that you have control over. So the first one is they took personal responsibility for healing. That's a big one right there. It's not just you're going to feel sorry for yourself. Oh, well, you know, this happened, so I'm just going to sit here. Now, that's kind of what I did is, hey, I'm going to be in this cast for 6 months. I might as well figure out how to do this stuff my own. You know, complaining and whining, I probably did some of that. Sure, I did some of that. But mainly, I was focused on doing the things I had to do to get through the day, get through this cast in 6 months, get out of my sweet chuck. So take personal responsibility for it. Do the things that you can do. Sleeping more, eating right, that's all going to speed up your healing. So do the things that you have control over. Focus on that. The number 2 thing they had high desire and determination. So you do have control over that. Once you get it, by the way, how good is my hair looking right now? I'm sorry if you don't watch these on video. My hair is looking fire, son. This is the most hair I've probably had in 20-ish years, something like that. It's still not much, but for me, it's pretty good. All right, so your high desire and determination, you have complete control over that, right? Those things that you can control. All right, the next one, they had social support. You kind of have control over that one, but that's talking about, you know, being around the 5 people you're around the most kind of determines your future. Who are you hanging around with? Are you hanging around with people that help you feel sorry for yourself? Or my friends didn't feel sorry for me. Like, oh, you're in your cast, so we're not going to help you. And I appreciated that, Adam. You don't need to treat me any different or anything like that. You know, I need to learn this stuff on my own, make fun of me and that type of stuff, and help me get through this. You know, you need that social support, those people to be there for you. Get around those people. Get around positive people. That leads into the next one. They maintain a positive attitude. Relentless positivity, right? So you have a choice. Every morning that you wake up, you can put on your attitude like a shirt or any clothes that you put on, right? You have that choice. Now you can go in there and say, well, another day in this cast with this thumb up, walking around, getting all these up. People keep thinking I'm hitchhiking, that type of stuff. You have control over that. Or you can get in there, hey, I'm going to get through this. Hey, one day down, knock one off the calendar and let's go. Maintaining a positive attitude actually helps you heal faster. Whether you're sick, whether you're injured, it's going to help that. And the last one is they use creative visualization. So that one is something we could do an entirely different podcast on. I'd like to have a guest on later. I've got it in mind. I'll get that one later. But anyway, that's just visualizing. Like if you have a broken bone, that you're visualizing the bone strengthening. In your head, you can kind of feel it getting strong. Or if it's a ligament, you kind of feel it thickening and getting better and better, pulling itself back together. If you have a swollen ankle, you picture the bad stuff, they call it, getting out of there and the swelling going down. Just using that mental pictures you put in your head, because those are going to come true. They've done studies that can help out, actually physically heal you when you use the mental side of things. So that's just some things you can use to help yourself when you're not feeling good, or if you're injured, help yourself get there a little bit faster. That's what they studied. So I'm going to get some positive news that's going on in the coronavirus. So at least once an episode, I'll bring you some news from around the country that some pretty crazy. This one's pretty crazy. There's some positive things what this guy did. So there was a guy that ran a marathon on his balcony. That sounds miserable, right? But this guy, so his name is Elisha Nochomovitz. I don't know. His name's Elisha. We'll call him E. Appreciate you, E. So what E did, he was set to run the Barcelona marathon, but then he was living in France and they shut down the whole country. So he couldn't do his marathon that he'd been training for. So he went out on his 23-foot balcony and ran a marathon. Can you imagine going back and forth that many times? He didn't say how many times it was, but he tracked it on his watch. I guess he didn't count that. He just tracked it on his watch. It took him almost 7 hours of running back and forth on his balcony. Can you imagine that? That's a mental toughness. That's a positive attitude. Because he said, hey, I've been doing this training. I want to still show people that it's still possible to do this marathon, even on my balcony. Balcony's pretty awesome. You had a nice view and all that. He said it was one of his favorite marathons. He'd done several of them before. So he could change his shirt whenever he wanted to, get something to eat. His girlfriend was helping him out, that type of stuff. So he took a bad situation. Oh, I can't do this marathon I've been training for, and turned it around and said, hey, I'm just going to do the thing on the balcony. Now, for me, that sounds miserable. Even running 1 mile on a treadmill sounds rough to me. But he overcame, went 23 feet back and forth for 26.2 miles. Good job, E. That's awesome. All right, we're going to end this on the dad joke like we always do. So what do you call a painter who likes to run through grass. Jackson Frolic. Always hilarious. All right, thank you for tuning in. So get those things. If you are injured, if you aren't feeling well, do those steps. Go through those steps. Help yourself heal better, feel better a little bit faster. Hope you have an awesome day. Thank you so much for tuning in.